the Phoenix Suns are down 24 points. We're playing the New Orleans Pelicans, a team that over the past week has handed the Suns their ass. The Suns are falling into their typical modus operandi when it comes to their offense. They're just chucking up threes, one-and-done possessions. And then, Matthew, slowly, surely, Devin Booker starts to cook. He carries his team. He wills them to victory, and they beat the New Orleans Pelicans. What a day for comebacks for you, my friend.
Yeah, it reminds you of the Minnesota game a little bit, right? Like, honestly,
yes,
dude, I missed that one. So the whole Minnesota game, just really quick, I was actually hiking, and you texted me, and I was watching the game, and I fucking slipped down the mountain, and I was scraped up a little bit. But tonight was even better. I'm glad I wasn't hiking for this one because that's the Pelican.
What is going on?
Does on me?
Is that you?
What is?
This is the worst. Leave the studio and come back. If you're watching along live, thank you for doing so. Matthew somehow he's glitching. Jeff F says in the chat that Matthew's trying to make him throw up. I don't know what's going on. It's probably me. So I'll leave the studio. Matthew, if you're still here, my whole computer's frozen. What is going on? Who knows? But we do know that the Phoenix Suns won this game. Is it me, Matthew, or is it you?
We're good. I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're fine now. Yeah, I think we figured this one out.
Aussie Suns fans, thanks for joining us in the in the live stream. Some crazy things going on because it's been literally a crazy day. As Matthew mentioned, for those of you who watch the NFL, Matthew and I, we've talked about it a little bit here on the podcast. We're in a survivor with a lot of people. I got eliminated last week. Matthew is still alive, and he picked the Vikings. They were down 30-0 today. Slipped down the mountain. Didn't see the game. They came back. I cleaned out the garage the whole damn day. I'm like checking. I'm like, oh my God. Every time I come in, they had another, 7 points. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. And then, of course, what happened tonight? Just unbelievably fantastic. So a ton of things to talk about on this edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast. If you're listening, you're lucky that you didn't get that little epileptic seizure that we just gave to everybody who was watching live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you happen to be still here and not seizuring, please hit a thumbs up while you're hanging out with us. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Plenty to talk about, as I mentioned. Matthew, you got to have a beer.
I got to
have a beer.
Yeah,
tonight.
you text me, you're like, Matthew, you better have a beer ready tonight. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I want a beer. Why haven't I been drinking a beer? And I went to go get beer, and it was good luck because the Suns came back. So I think that's been the issue, right? That I've not been drinking beers, and the Suns have been losing. So let me get my beer, my keys out. Sorry for the ruckus, to pop it open.
All right, and I've got a Coors Light. And Matthew, you're gonna have to do the drop because I'm pretty sure it's my mouse that's messing everything up.
Oh, is it all messing up?
Yeah, my computer's acting all funky on this side. So get ready to do the drop. Pop them if you got them, Suns fans.
Pop it that way.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
and careful.
Spewing out. Oh, yeah. There it is.
Let's talk about this amazing Phoenix Suns victory over the Pelicans. Hit the drop.
All right, John has dropped out. He'll be right back. 118 to 114. What a fantastic game. You know what? Yeah, I have a beer. And Sonia, you can't drink no more. I'm so sorry. Tonight is a special occasion, so I wish you can drink with us. But John, you all right there, man? I mean, I feel like we're...
Yeah. It's just, it's one of those weird days that all the technology is not working, but it's not going to stop me from asking you my first question.
Matthew, I got to ask.
Matthew, I got to ask.
Yes.
Is this the most important victory of the season? The most impressive? or just another victory as the Suns win 118-114 over the New Orleans Pelicans?
It's important. I think when we were heading into halftime, it was a big just a disappointment. You said, go get a beer. I'm like, yeah, I'll take the last 2 minutes of this quarter off, second quarter, and go get a beer, come back. There's about 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Took longer than I thought. And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad because we're down by 24. I'm like, this is going to be one of those games where I'm going to be doing my laundry, listening to another Suns loss. But it changed, man. It changed, and Booker, he made sure to let the Pelicans know, like, hey, you're my bitch, all right? I haven't been healthy. You've been lucky. I have not been there for my teammates, just like Zion wasn't, but I'm going to go off and score 58 points. And it's important because, dude, they won last game, but no one gave a shit. You can tell by no one giving a shit because of the podcast. If no one's watching the podcast, no one's giving a shit. Tonight they give a shit. You guys will be here watching this tonight.
Yeah, the Jamsters are coming out tonight because it's a party. It's a Saturday night, and you're right. It was a frustrating watch for the first 2 quarters of this game, and you were starting to think, okay, the Suns beat the Dallas Mavericks every time they faced them last season during the regular season. So maybe when we go to the playoffs, it'll be the same thing when we play the Pelicans. We couldn't beat them in the regular season, but we can beat them in a series. Like you're starting to go into like that depth of Mordor, if you will. Like you're trying to find something to make this make sense because the team just didn't look good in the in that first half. You know, Devin Booker was the only one who was doing really anything at all relative to offense. The team overall, you know, they fell into that same pattern of just hoisting up 3-pointers aimlessly and providing a lot of one and done possessions. You take a look at the first half for the Phoenix Suns, and they scored 46 points. They were 16 of 44 from the field. Devin Booker was 8 of 13. So the remainder of the team was 8 of 31. He was 8 of 13. They were 8 of 31 from the field. Okay, he was 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. They were 6 of 23. You know, so they're 6 of 18. Or I'm sorry, they're 3 of 18. He's 3 of 5. So Devin Booker's cooking. He has 22 points in that first half. You got 5 points from Bismack. You got 10 from Mikal, 3 from Chris Paul, 4 from Landry Shamet, 2 from Jock Landale. The Pelicans, conversely, they have 63 points. I mean, the Suns are just getting demolished. They had 19 points in that second quarter. And to your point, Matthew, it's like, okay, here we go again. It's the same thing that we've been seeing for the past, since December 4th for the Phoenix Suns. They can't shoot in the first half, 36.4% from the field, 26.1% from beyond the arc. Outside of the outlier, which was the Clippers game, it's this pattern of the Phoenix Suns just not they have to wait till halftime to even have any semblance of waking up. And it was a frustrating watch for that first half of the game.
Yeah, it definitely was. And like I said earlier, it was one of those games where you just thought it was over again. But they started off really, really just, you know, making sure that they kind of got ahead of this team and not being down so far like they have been in the past few games where if they do get down, they get down themselves. There's no one to save them really. And I think that's the healthy Booker that makes a difference is because we have no one else. There's no offense. There's no offensive flow. A lot of it's ISO. There's nothing there. A lot of players, like including Okogie's playing like different roles where he's playing down there against Zion and he's just playing big body defense against him, which is very strange. So a lot of the players are doing different things that they're not used to. And you have Bismack playing a lot of minutes. You have Landale coming in playing some big minutes. But the guys out there, they have no sync. So it's kind of nice to see that we have a guy like Booker for the next 10 years that can do this shit, that can just go off. Because, you know, like, it's not going to happen like this all the time. But, dude, before he got hurt, it was amazing basketball.
Oh, yeah.
It's always amazing before he gets hurt. So when he comes back, man, it's like this is his first real game where he's healthy. And the Pelicans were not prepared in the second half. And I wasn't prepared either. I thought it was I surely thought it was over in the first half, dude. I really did.
You talk about not being prepared. I'm sitting there and I'm watching the first 2 quarters and halftime of this game, flipping back and forth to see the Bills and the Miami Dolphins game because it was a boring game to watch for the Phoenix Suns. And in the middle of the third quarter, I realized I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be writing the recap for Bright Side of the Sun on this one. So talk about like an oh shit moment. My wife's here. My sister-in-law's here. They're like, hey, can you take us down to the bar? I'm like, no, I actually got a write. So take an Uber. So, but I was just like, oh, man, I was completely unprepared. But one of the observations I noticed early in the game is without DeAndre Ayton, Jonas Valanciunas looks like a different player against this team. There was no semblance of an interior for the Phoenix Suns, and it makes you really value DeAndre Ayton when you go against a team like the New Orleans Pelicans. After seeing what he could do against this team in his last two performances, he owned the interior. He could do whatever he want. He made Jonas Valanciunas look ridiculous on both ends of the floor. And then you go and you look in this game, and right off the bat, the first thing that the Pelicans are doing is they're feeding Jonas down low because they know they can. He ends up going 5 of 7 in the first quarter. In the 10 minutes that he played, he scored 10 points. You couple that with the 6 of 7 shooting from CJ McCollum, who had 15 points. And the one guy you were worried about in this game, Zion Williamson, was 1 of 2 in the first quarter, only had 2 points, and the Suns were down 7 right out the chute. So how much do the Phoenix Suns miss DeAndre Ayton, especially after seeing how valuable he is in his absence tonight?
After seeing Okogie, I'm like, I don't care about Ayton anymore. That guy can hit those boards. He can body up Zion. He's guarding Zion. Who cares? No, that's the first thing I thought about. It's funny you brought that up because when he had 10 and 5 in the first quarter. Right away, I feel like Big V usually gets off to hot starts against the Suns, and he kind of fades away. He only had 12 points the rest of the game. But I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? If Ayton's not there, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night for the Suns down there on the boards, but they really didn't give up any offensive rebounds. Last time I checked, what it was like halftime, a little after maybe a 6-minute mark in the third, they only give up like 4 offensive rebounds, which is something that, if you don't have Ayton and you want to make sure that you can make this a competitive game, you can't give up those second chance points. And they didn't. They kind of took Big V out of the game. Big V was trying to work those little ISO plays, backing down Biyombo down there underneath the basket. It wasn't working out later in the game. He was taking too long. By the time he was done, there was a couple games that were already over. You know what I mean? Like, he was just taking his time. He was traveling a lot. They weren't calling travels on him for some reason down there. But it just was nasty basketball. But Bismack held up towards, I would say, after halftime. He just made sure he was quiet. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad, because I was really thinking that this was going to be a problem without DA there, dude.
Yeah, no, I did. I didn't think it was going to be that big of an issue until I saw how they were attacking the interior, and then it dawned on me. And this is for all those reminders of all those people who talk about DeAndre Ayton, ourselves included. We're a post-game podcast. We go live after every Phoenix Suns game, so we're going to overreact to every Phoenix Suns game. And there's going to be games where we see DA and we're questioning his aggressiveness on the offensive end and his ability to catch the ball and yada, 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 yada. But you see how valuable he is on defense when he's not there, because they start to attack the interior. And Zion is the one who got to do it in the fourth quarter. But to your point, Bismack Biyombo started to body him up a little bit and start to just make him uncomfortable. And it was a good performance, but it wasn't a great performance because we didn't have DeAndre Ayton. But obviously, the guy who you got to talk about tonight is one Devin Booker.
Big Dick Booker.
Ooh,
wow.
58 burger. 5-8 for Devin Booker tonight. 21 of 35 from the field. So 58 points on 35 shots. I'll take that all the time. That's called efficient basketball. He was 6 of 12 from beyond the arc, 10 of 15 from the free throw line. He had 6 rebounds, 5 assists in this game. And it's crazy. You go and you look at those free throws, man. If he hits 2 of those free throws, he has 60. And it's got such a nice ring to it. And you look at the back end of this game. When this team, and again, final score, 118 to 114. Devin Booker had 55 points when the teams were tied at 99. Okay? So he ends, of those final 19 points, Devin Booker only had 3 of them. So, one, I got to say, the way that Devin Booker approached this game, right off the bat, it's the first thing I wrote in my notes. Devin Booker's fluidity is back. There was a fluidity to his jump shot that's been a little bit off over the past couple games. Since the Celtics game, since he tweaked his ankle, he's had some issues. He had the hamstring issue. In the Clippers game, he didn't look super efficient. I think he was 6 of 24, something along those lines. But he comes out tonight, and he put the team on his back. As we both have mentioned, the first half was a laugher. The Phoenix Suns are down, 17 points at halftime? They go down 24 points in the second half. And you're just like, shit. this sucks. This sucks. But you know what? It's a regular season game. You're talking yourself into what your plans are going to be for tomorrow night, and you're counting your Christmas hens outside and hoping that they're hatching eggs and whatnot. And then Devin Booker just goes, you know what? In the third quarter, I'm going into Armani mode, as our friend Espo likes to say. He scores 20 points. He's 8 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. And he scores 20 of the Suns' 38 points. And what was so valuable about that quarter is he finally had some support. Chris Paul was 3 of 4 from the field, and 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, mind you. Damian Lee hit his only 3-pointer in that period. Mikal Bridges finally hit a 3. So it's like not only was Devin Booker starting to cook, but the rest of his team was finally supporting him. And that's what we talked about. The 2 games that we played against the Pelicans, we could have won if Devin Booker had been on his B game.
Yeah.
And and so he was on his A++ game tonight, and the Suns win by 4.
Yeah, and a lot of reactions you hear from the players or whoever's tweeting out there. It's a long season. Let's get through this. There's injuries. Every team's going through it. But Booker's like, you know what? Fuck them kids, dude. I have not played against the Pelicans healthy. The Pelicans, they had the windmill dunk at the end of the game, and I wish we would have had that chance to do that because we would have done that for sure. I was thinking who would have done it? Maybe Jock, maybe Okogie, maybe even Mikal. Who knows? Maybe even Booker, another reverse dunk, but it would have happened if we would have kind of blown them out by 11. But you kind of felt that the way Booker was playing, even when we were down by like 5 or 6, I'm like, this game's over. Suns are going to win this game. The Pelicans can't handle this. You can double team them. You can put Alvarado on them. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. The guy was so super hot. EJ said MJ Kobe. He brought up the MJ Kobe name about, that's how hot he was playing tonight. He just
Did you talk Chambers at halftime?
No, I did not. What did he say?
He said he's so hot out there. He needs to be shooting naked.
He needs to be what?
Shooting naked. Like everyone was like, "What the fuck?" He's just like, you give him a female co-host, and all of a sudden he doesn't know what the hell he's saying anymore.
Oh, dude, you sound like electronic kind of dude, like Daniel Duarte the other night. Yeah. I can't hear you now. Are you talking? Oh, yeah, I can't hear you, man. Oh, you're on mute. Okay. So
there we
go.
go.
Booker did say
my computer's being funny tonight, man.
It's
being
fun when
tonight.
it's this way, dude. I get
Yeah, Fabio in the chat's like void of robot. Am I still robot voicing it?
No, you sound good. You sound good now.
Okay. Now I'm lagging. I don't know what
I'll let you
the Suns go and win a huge game, and my computer's like double.
Can't
bird.
handle it.
No.
But Booker was like, dude, the way he just came out, especially the first quarter, 10 points right away, but he's just like, no, like we're not gonna lose another game and just talk about it's a long season, we gotta have injuries come back. No, I'm gonna go win this game. Because I know what this team did to us last game and how they think they're better than us, how they think we look old. When you call someone old, that is the ultimate disrespect. You don't want to call anybody old because
we were calling them old.
We were calling them old. Pelicans fans are calling them old. I'm sure they've heard stuff on the court about them looking old. Booker didn't care. He wanted to win this game, especially playing in Phoenix, man. It's a Saturday night. People are out there on their dates. I think OBJ's in the first row again. He's like, we can't get blown out again. Like, this has happened too much to these celebrities that show up. We got to make sure that we show up and that I can just take them on my shoulders and win this game, because when we're limiting the opportunities for second chance points, I have all day out there. I have all day to score as many points as I want, because I know my defense is going to help me out and get us back into this game. And that's exactly what happened, man. Everyone else was fighting for this because Booker was going off, but he was still playing team ball. Man.
Well, what I'll say is this, okay? Now my other computer's going crazy. I can't win for losing tonight, man. What I'll say is this. Devin Booker, up to this point, over these past few games, we talked about it. All of his shots have been just missing. I mean, like 83.7% of the way down the cylinder before they pop out. And now we knew the market was going to correct itself. He had to keep shooting. He had to keep putting himself in a position to where he can hit those shots and allow himself to be human and to feel the shot going through. And it started to fall tonight. And we know when Devin Booker can get on those heaters, much akin to a lot of the great players in the NBA, when he gets on those heaters, he is unstoppable. and he proved it again tonight. And I think that, yeah, OBJ being in there, there was definitely a vibe in there tonight. And there's no echoes, okay? That's the one thing you notice. There wasn't any echoes, as Eddie Johnson noted about the Smoothie King Center, and then everybody, like, was giving him shit about it. But I'll tell you, I don't think that the Suns fans, I know that they showed up. They showed out. I wish I heard more boos when Alvarado had the ball, but that was just me personally. Because
we're not petty like that.
Because I'm petty like that. But Shamil in the chat, he says Gorilla Dick Book. I mean, he was out there.
Gorillas have small penises, so careful.
Do they?
Yeah, the girls, they have the smallest penises. They're huge, but they have small dicks. And monkeys, they have bigger dicks than the gorillas.
Come for the Booker information. Learn about orangutan anatomy. There you go.
Joe Rogan podcast. I'm pretty sure that's where I heard it from.
Okay. Well, let's talk about another guy who had a huge impact on this game.
Josh. Oh.
You look at the stat line, and it wasn't a massive stat line for Josh Okogie. He ended with a total of 23 minutes. He had 7 points. He had 6 rebounds. But he had 4 massive offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter that truly sealed this game, coupled with his 7 of 8 from beyond the arc. From the free throw line. That's where he scored all of his points, Matthew, was from the free throw line in late game, high pressure situations. It was Devin Booker who took the team and said, hop on my back. I'm going to carry you. And then when the game was tied at 99 apiece, he was just done. He tried to get to that 60. He tried so hard. He couldn't hit anything. He was missing free throws. But it was Josh Okogie who came in and finished the game off, in my opinion.
Yeah, the way he actually guarded Zion was pretty crazy, because a lot of the times I feel like, even Jamsters, let me know if I'm wrong about this, but I feel like the last few games we kind of just let Zion have a head start. But we had Okogie tonight that was kind of just playing defense on him right straight away from the perimeter. And it kind of helped when you had like a Jock or even Bismack coming over to help to double team later on. So that was actually kind of effective. So starting there, that's a huge plus. I mean, Zion's playing defense against him too, like trying to, like, it was so weird because Okogie was really getting his in tonight against Zion, and Zion was just kind of like, all right, well, I'm going to return the favor, a few blocks on threes or whatever he was doing. But it's just so weird because Okogie's so small. But Okogie, the best part is him going up to get those offensive rebounds. He like knows exactly when to lift off. He got a big offensive rebounds tonight.
Massive.
He plays huge, man. And I know towards the end his defense was kind of suspect against Zion, but what are you going to do? EJ's yelling, you got to stop this guy. You can't. It's like, really? We're going to do this, EJ? Like, we're going to talk about we can't stop Zion, but like you have a better idea how to do it. I kind of like what they were doing tonight with Okogie and getting to the free throw line. He was waiting for those guys to like he was doing the double pumps a few times, and then he just made sure that those guys were up in the air. He would like make sure that he would lift off, throw up a shot that he always airballs those layups, trying to get the end ones. But get to the free throw line, man. I think he's like Booker is the reason we won, but he was the reason we extended, or we made sure to actually clinch that win, because those big offensive rebounds towards the end of the game.
Yeah, and a lot of Jamsters are pointing out in the chat, and a reminder, if you're here, hit the thumbs up button. But they're talking about his lateral quickness against Zion. And it's the only thing you can try to do to stop Zion is just beat him to the edge, because he wants to go left every time. And if you make him go right, we saw that happen in the fourth quarter with about 3 minutes left. They forced him to go right. Now, granted, what's his nugget? Josh Okogie fell down on the play. Chris Paul's the one who ultimately got the steal, but it was Josh Okogie who forced him to go to his right, in which he turned over the ball. It led to the common foul, but the take foul at the same time. But you need somebody who has that lateral quickness. And Okogie plays bigger than he is. I mean, it just comes down to that. He plays a lot bigger than he is. He's athletic as hell. And we knew that when we got this guy, that he was going to be somebody who would have some sort of an impact on the defensive end. It's the offensive rebounds that were just unbelievably fantastic tonight. It's his ability to get to that line that we needed and to make those free throws, which Devin Booker wasn't doing, and Chris Paul missed the late one as well. So, you look at moving forward for this team, and we talked about a little bit on the last podcast, is, he's earning minutes that are going to ultimately get him potentially into a playoff rotation. Whoa, what was that?
That's my beer in the mic.
Jeez, Matthews is not used to
That's
having a
why
beer
I'm not
around
used
a
to having beer,
microphone.
sorry.
But does Josh Okogie, his minutes have to stay moving forward? I mean, does he start
Yeah.
to just take all of Landry Shamit's minutes once we
Yeah.
get people back and healthy? He
Yeah,
has
you
to,
can
right?
you can see it on Shamit's face. He knows it's coming, and he also came in earlier. I don't know if it's because Book just came back from an injury, but he played in Book's place like the last 2 minutes of the first quarter. Usually that's Book plays the whole first quarter. McCollum played the whole first quarter. That's what Book does. So Okogie came in, he plays huge minutes, and he could do everything that you need on the court. Like he seriously will do everything you need in a positive way, especially like the technicals. Like he even caused a technical tonight with Lance towards the end of the game, which was huge because he was holding on the ball and then Lance got frustrated. So he's a frustrating
Larry
guy.
Nance.
Yeah, Larry Nance.
Lance.
And
That's funny. Lance.
What did I say?
You said Lance. What'd you say? I said Lance.
Larry Nance.
It's
And then,
Hollywood. Everyone's gay once in a while. Fucking Tropic Thunder shit. What are you talking about, Lance? I said Nance.
I had a few watching the game. All right, you're the one that told me to drink tonight. But so Okogie, he does everything, man. He gets the rebounds, he facilitates, he doesn't take wild shots. Doesn't Okogie seem like a guy that just would take wild random shots and like get your team like out of sync? Like it's like, why are you shooting that? Because everyone's
he's done that at
does
times.
everything
He'll
right.
shoot threes. It's like the Landell threes, right? Like the whole team will be shooting and they might have some rhythm, and then all of a sudden Jock Landell will just be like, woo, and just like launch up some shit three.
I don't know, man. I love the threes, man. This guy he's already a fan favorite. He's already kind of outplayed Lee for the fan favorite right now, and Jock for sure.
No, 100%. And I think that's something that, I put that poll out last podcast. Who's the new fan favorite? Landell's the guy who started off that way, but I think just due to the position that he plays and the logjam between Bismack Biyombo and DeAndre Ayton ahead of him, like he's going to get sporadic playing time. Whereas Josh Okogie has truly played his way, not only onto this roster and into some quality minutes for the Phoenix Suns, but into our hearts. Josh Okogie, the way that he plays basketball with the hustle, with the grit, with the athleticism, he's doing all those little things that you need to win. Because guess what? Winning in the NBA is a razor-thin margin. We see that all the time. It's something that we know going back to being Suns fans for as long as we have, and looking at the decade between 2011 and 2020, the Suns would lose game after game after game because they didn't have a margin player. And why are the Pelicans so successful? Because they have a deep team full of margin players. Najee Marshall is one of those guys, right? Jose Alvarado, he's one of those guys. Larry Nance Jr., he's one of those guys. Devontae Graham, he can be one of those guys. That's what makes this team so scary. And personally, I'm unbelievably excited that we beat this team tonight, because I know that we need it probably more than they do, because they're a very talented team, and they're going to continue to be very hard out for people throughout this regular season due to their depth, due to their grit, and due to the fact that they have a lot of these hustle guys. When you talk about, the ball happened to go their way, it goes your way because you have the hustle guys. It went our way tonight because we have a hustle guy in Josh Okogie.
Yeah, finally we have that, man. It's a real one too. It's not like we're just like, we have this hustle dude out there that can't make a difference. He does. He's there in crunch time, dude. He makes that big of a difference where he's playing big minutes. Like he's gonna be that guy for a while, and I can't wait, man. Him and Booker the next 10 years together. What a tandem.
Okogie and Booker. But that's who won the game. I mean, that's straight up. You're right. That's who won the game for the Suns tonight.
And Chris Paul, he held for sure.
Well, and I think it's time that we give Chris Paul a little love, but we'll do that right after this word from DraftKings.
You looking to make some cold, hard cash? Visit the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can bet just $5 pregame moneyline on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Who doesn't love a good same-game parlay? Download the app now, sign up with code TBPN, place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code TBPN, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Win enough money, and who knows, Jamsters, maybe we can buy the franchise from Robert Sarver.
All right, let's talk Chris Paul.
The point guard.
So Chris Paul in this game, definitely an important piece of the puzzle to help the Phoenix Suns win. 35 minutes played with 6 of 11 from the field, including 5 of 7 from beyond the arc, Matthew. Had 18 points, 8 assists in this game, had 5 rebounds as well. What'd you see from the point guard tonight?
He was really flicking that wrist, man. Like, you can tell those threes were going to go in. Like, I don't know if you noticed, like, he doesn't really, I don't feel like I've never really noticed, like, his flick of the wrist. But it happened tonight where he's like, I got to make these because this is part of the comeback. I'm filling the holes where Booker's not. He's going on his run. But the way Booker is, he's not going to throw a team out of sync. He's not going to be like the big guy. Like, you know, it's not going to take it away from the rest of the team and make sure, like, he wants to make sure that the team's actually playing team ball. And Chris Paul, he still gets the rock a few times. So when he does, he would hit his threes. That was huge. Like, in the beginning of the game, I was like, this guy's a 0 on offense. He's not helping. In the second quarter, it looked terrible. He was nothing, but he defers the book a lot. He does look really tired. His little jump shot, mid-range kind of fade away. It looks really painful to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But if he is the guy that's just shooting the three and facilitating wins needed, deferring to book, I'm fine with that. I think that's fine. Like, it's the point of his career where he's just going to be shooting the three and they're going in high percentage. I feel like the last few games he's been really killing the other team with those threes. So
Yeah.
you can't really ask for too much more from him. He does look tired and just older out there. He does. But he's not overexerting himself throwing these games away, which is good. He'll go hide in the corner a few times. It's fine. He knows, but he'll lead this team when is needed. So that's the very important part of this.
But it's good to know that he knows, because that's always the fear that you have in some of these former superstars of the NBA as they are hitting the twilight of their career, their back nine, if you will, is they don't know when to let go. And I think that the injury that he had earlier in the season really was a good mental check for him to go, you know what? I might not be that guy anymore, and that's okay. I can still be a productive player and help this team win ball games, but I'm not going to be the dominating player. Now, the challenge with that is we are left without a good scorer, if you will. Somebody who can still assist the ball for sure, but not a consistent quality scorer next to Devin Booker, because Mikal Bridges is schizophrenic. He's on one game, he's off the next. DeAndre Ayton is injured right now, but from a guard standpoint, Josh Okogie ain't going to do it. He ain't going to be picking up, 18 to 28 points a game. So that's the challenge for the Phoenix Suns as they move forward, is how do they make up for the lack of CP3's production from a point scoring standpoint? Now, tonight he was great. He had 18 points, exactly what you need from him. Had 8 assists, exactly what you need from him. Managed the game, knew to feed the players around him in a successful manner to help win this game. But I mean, he's definitely on the back nine, and it's going to be one of those things where the Suns are really going to have to start to think, how are they going to replace that offensive scoring production moving forward?
The worst part of the game from him was the last free throws attempt. The last time he got fouled, to end the game, he got fouled. Booker was wide open. Booker was looking for the ball for his 60 points. You think it was smart for him to keep it because Booker has been struggling from the line?
I think it was smart. I wanted him to give it to Booker because I wanted Booker to have 2 more free throw shots at 60. But Chris Paul taking the free throws probably was the better call.
I think so too. And he kind of ignored him there too. Like, Booker was
Booker's like,
and Chris Paul was like, yeah, whatever. Like, we just got to win this game.
Yeah, a win's a win,
he's
buddy.
Just pissed off that Booker's getting all the glory. No, I'm just joking.
No.
That's not
New controversy as first reported by the Suns Jam Session podcast. Well, another interesting thing about CP3 is obviously yesterday he graduated from Winston-Salem State University. So they win the game in LA. He flies back to Winston-Salem State University, graduates, gets every one of the graduating students. What was it? $4,500 each?
Yeah, no, $2,500.
I think EJ said $4,500 during the broadcast.
I saw on Twitter it was 25.
I saw on Twitter. I have 25 in my notes, but then I heard him say that
45 would make more sense, or 5,000, because I'm like 2,500.
So how would you feel if you graduated from Winston-Salem State University last year, Matthew?
How would I feel?
Yeah.
You gonna do the drop?
No. Like, imagine you graduated last year. You worked hard. You're there all 4 years. You graduated, and then like the next year, CP3 graduates with the class and gives everyone $2,500.
yeah. To
Wouldn't that
miss
suck?
out. Oh,
Yeah.
that would be the worst.
Or you
Especially
graduate next year.
Yeah, I want to take a selfie with Chris Paul in a parking lot underneath a
Yeah.
tree. Like, come
Me
on, man.
too. And then
Yeah,
they get
I
the
mean,
money.
yeah, I don't know. I would have definitely missed out on a big opportunity just to get a nice little autograph. And I don't know. I don't want to think about that now, dude.
I just think it would be funny. I like for anyone who graduated from Winston-Salem State last year is just like, shit, man. If I just failed a fucking class, I could have hung around just long enough to get CP3 to give me some money. It's not about the selfie. It's about like 2,500 extra bucks. Like, dang it. And quick trivia question. Maybe some of the Jamsters can answer this in the chat. Winston-Salem State University. What's their mascot?
It is the Cougars.
Yeah, that's incorrect.
It's always the Cougars or the Wolves or something. Is it a cat?
No, it's not a cat. It is an animal, though. I'll give 2 more animal guesses. Not a cat.
The puppy chow.
The puppy chow. That's not an animal. That's what an animal eats.
Or the carnivorous raptors.
That's correct. The Winston-Salem State carnivorous. It's the Rams. The Rams.
Oh, the Rams. Okay.
So there you go. The more you know. Brought to you by D's Nuts. The Warden tonight, again, 15 points, 5 of 13 for shooting, 3 of 9 from beyond the arc, 2 assists, 3 steals, 3 rebounds. It was one of those games where he kind of disappeared. Hit a couple corner 3-pointers that were big.
Yeah.
In that comeback, they were big. That's for sure. But another one of those kind of disappearing acts, in my opinion, Matthew.
Yeah, it was. And I was getting my Mikal notes ready. I'm like, all right, here we go. 2 threes to start the game. Gets to the rim. Then I'm just like, where does he go? I cannot explain to you guys, you Jamsters out there, that how I write these. Like, I can't figure out a way to really even write down notes, because when I watch the game, he does disappear. I can't keep up with him or something. There's something that happens where he's just totally gone. He had that jump ball towards the end of the game, which was nice.
It was
but
big. It was a possession.
I don't know. I'm still so up in the air with this guy. Like, I love Mikal, of course. He's fucking awesome, but I don't know how to really follow him on the court like a DeAndre Ayton, where it's kind of nice when Ayton's out because you can just watch the game and enjoy it and not do Ayton watch the whole time where you just watch him and not anything else. But Mikal's a total opposite. Mikal is just like, he will just disappear. I'll try to find him. I just don't know what I'm trying to look at. I don't know. It's such a hard thing for me to explain with this guy.
Yeah, King Paul makes a good point. He took CJ out of the game in the second half, and I did notice that his defense was amped up in that second half. And I was watching the third quarter frantically because, again, I was putting together the bright side recap, unbeknownst to me. I was like, oh shit, because David texted me earlier in the week. He's like, John, can you do it? I got you. I got you,
dude.
You know, I'm like, the Suns are playing the Clippers and the Pelicans. I'm going to continue my losing streak. We went 2-0 in those games, so I'm actually kind of proud. But I did notice that CJ all of a sudden was ice cold, and it's because Mikal was really keyed in and focused on him. So,
yeah.
But outside of that, offensively, I just feel like there's a lot of challenges, a lot of opportunities for that consistency when it comes to Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, and he does so much for this team. Maybe he's just that guy, because I think before, like last year and the beginning of this year, we're looking for that second guy, right, for Booker.
Yeah, and
he's
could
not
be him. God, it wouldn't be nice if it was.
But it's not. It's just DeAndre. That's who it is.
But we need a wing. We need a wing score. You need a wing score if we need to be successful.
Brandon Ingram. Oh my god, dude.
Oh man, wouldn't that be great? Oh my god. Oh, we can only wish. We can only wish. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what happened in a place that I believe you were hanging out at tonight. It was
I was.
Were you hanging out on their subreddit?
I was.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Oh, I do declare. Yeah, dude, hot stuff.
Graphic in the middle.
What's up?
You're gonna have to change the graphic in the middle.
Oh, is it not working?
No, my computer's all fucked up. I wish I could show you guys what like my computer's doing. In fact, I probably can. Like, it's just spazzing. Look at that.
Oh,
that's what my computer's doing right now.
Double me. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Stupid thing.
Yeah, so I do declare I was
You
hanging out
do
on the subreddit.
declare.
Oh man, I had a pen too. I was drawing a mole and I forgot. I was gonna do a little mole, Cindy
Mole,
Crawford
mole.
mole for y'all. All right.
So the subreddit stakeout, for those of you who are new to the podcast, is something we do. We hang out on the subreddit of the opposing team, and the Pelicans have been a very interesting one to hang out on. So tell us what was going on there today, Matthew.
Yeah, there's a lot because they think they're better than us. All right, they might be true. That might be true, but
You're probably right, but
we did beat them in the playoff series. But it started off with Booker and it ended with Booker.
okay.
Booker's creepy face annoys me more than it should.
Rude.
I never
Rude.
heard of him having a creepy face.
Yeah, not
Maybe-
creepy.
Maybe I don't know, dude. Herb gives up 10. Oh wait, those are my fucking notes. Wait, are those my notes? Yeah, no. Herb gives up 10 Booker points in 4.5 minutes. Not working. Time for Dyson ASAP. So they're trying to find ways to, defend Book. It's not going to happen.
Not gonna
This is
happen.
early on. That's just not going to happen. That backboard, the buzzer beater. Thought about you. From Najee.
Yes.
Najee fucked with the backboard. So that buzzer beater, that was hurtful. Hold on, let me take this off, dude. And then next one was, we are kicking the piss out of them. So this is early on. This is before Booker woke up. And this is before Booker dominated the Pelicans. And then right up after that, Herb is busting his ass on Booker. Jamsters, let me know. Did Herb Jones do a good job on Booker? Because I feel like when I looked at the stats, he had about 36 points when they actually sent this out on subreddit. I was like, are you sure that's actually happening? Because I swear that is not happening because Booker's having his way. This wouldn't be a game if Zion got superstar calls. So here we go with the free throw thing. Free throws, they were off balance a little bit. Doesn't matter. Suns, this happens to Suns all the time, right? Tonight, the Pelicans were actually not as physical, I feel like, getting to the rim, right? Let me know, seriously. Because I honestly think that they weren't. I think Zion was kind of stopped short of the rim. And I also think that the Suns were very physical tonight, especially Booker getting to the rim. And then how the fuck do you let Booker do that? I'm not sure what they were talking about because Booker was doing a lot of that.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Which thing were they not sure that Booker could do?
Who knows? There was a lot of it. So when I pulled that, I mean, it was just like, by the time I looked at it, Booker was already scoring his fourth point in 2 seconds. So no idea. They still didn't know how to double Booker. It's unreal. You can double Booker. He'll pass out of it and get the ball back. Booker's figured that out now. So the whole double team thing, it doesn't matter anymore to Booker. Sometimes, especially tonight, when he's going off, it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Last thing was, why are we giving this? Why are we going with Jose on Booker? At least make him have to shoot over lengths. So the whole thing was just struggling, getting over the whole Booker situation. They were trying to find ways there in subreddit to stop him and help the Pelicans out. Didn't work. And they were having a hard time there, dude. They were saying the refs were fucking them over, but they were
slow
not.
stroke me on that.
They,
Shut up, Pelicans.
yeah, I was saying when you were gone, I'm like, I feel like the Pelicans were kind of soft tonight. They weren't really driving to the rim. Zion was kind of being stopped out there by the paint, wasn't getting to the rim as much. So you're not going to get the calls, man. And we know as Suns fans, we don't if we're not aggressive. So,
well, it must be really frustrating for fans of the New Orleans Pelicans to watch a game in which it's properly officiated. You know, because they're so used to Zion Williamson kind of just running over everybody and doing what he wants that, you know, when they take a look at a normally officiated game and what was the free throw totals on this one, Matthew?
Well, early on they said like something like 24-8 or something, but I didn't look at it right now. Let me check.
Free throws 20-22. The Pelicans had 22 more or had 2 more free throw attempts than the Suns did. So Pelicans fans, that's what you call a properly officiated game where it's somewhat even because not one team.
I have 35-13. 35-13, right?
Free throw attempts. 20.
Yeah.
The Pelicans were 20 of 22. The Suns.
Really? Okay.
Am I looking at the right game?
Maybe not.
I'm looking.
No, it's 35-13. So
no, I'm not looking at the right game.
It's all right. You had to like reboot. You had to get your things back.
I'm on a
up
different
in a
computer.
hurry.
I'm on literally a different computer. I don't know what the hell's going on with my other computer right now, but thankfully I had my work computer, and there you go. Subreddit stakeout. Fuck it.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
All right. Oh, hey, I do
Hey,
declare Matthew's
I do
back.
declare,
Where
if I
you
had that
been?
mole, would have stuck the rest of the night. So I would have thrown everybody off.
Well, we're going to talk Jamstar here really quick, but I want to give a shout out to Joe Casillas, one of our loyal listeners and an old buddy of mine. Went to middle school and high school with him, and he watches the podcast. And he had asked on the last podcast if anybody had tracked the Jamstars. And he actually went through and tracked our Jamstars. So for those of you who are watching, you can see the graphic. Up to this point of the season, Devin Booker's been our Jamstar 13 times. DeAndre Ayton, this is combined between both you and I. DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker 15 times, DeAndre Ayton 13 times, Mikal Bridges 6 times, Josh Okogie 5 times, Dwayne Washington Jr. 3 times, and then Cam Payne, Chris Paul, Cam Johnson, Torrey Craig all 2 times. That's impressive that Cameron Johnson, well, I guess 2 times means we both agreed it was him because it's each guy. And then one for Dario Saric, 1 for Jock Landell. And you take a look at where we stand personally. I've given Devin Booker 8 Jamstars. You've given him 7. I've given Ayton 7. You've given him 6. Looks like you're bigger on Okogie than I am. We're the same on Bridges, and then you voted for everyone else once. So that's a great graphic. I'm actually going to turn.
That's awesome.
It is. It's awesome.
Looking
so shout
great.
out to Joe Casillas. But I'm going to make a spreadsheet out of that, and I'll continue to track our Jamstars.
Yeah, that's such a good idea.
I really is. So again, shout out to Casillas because he probably had to go back to every episode.
Yeah.
And listen to find out who our
Jamstars.
Jamstars.
Suns lose.
Suns lose. Jamstar.
That just shows Okogie is the fan favorite, man, because he hasn't really blossomed until like the last 2 weeks. So right, about 2-3 weeks.
No, you're right. You're right. He's getting the playing time. He's finally getting that love. So
yeah,
we'll ask you and me who the Jamstar may be.
Jam star of the game.
All right, it's got to be Devin Booker.
Has to be.
Like Okogie honorable mention, but it's Booker. 58 points, bro. 58 points, bro. Arena record.
Yeah, that fadeaway 3 in the corner.
That
was nothing but net. I'm like, this
Yes.
is insane. I seriously just almost walked outside, just naked, and started doing some push-ups or something. Like I was just like, this is
it's cold
insane.
outside.
Yeah, even EJ said he was about to leave the arena. He's like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Like, I'm done.
It was crazy.
Come back. Where'd you go?
But you guys realize, like, he was this way before he got hurt. He was just going off insane. So if he can just, I did notice tonight a little bit where defensively he wasn't playing as hard in certain situations, trying to go the extra effort, because he's just like, I feel like I get hurt, and I feel like maybe his hamstring is lingering a little bit, but he's also maybe hopefully knowing, like, hey, don't do the extra shit. Let Okogie do that. All right, Okogie's in there for you. Let him get in. He's not going to get injured because he's more athletic, but just let him do the dirty shit.
Yeah, it was just a great performance overall.
Oh my God.
It was just
amazing,
it was fantastic.
Man.
It like to sum up this game, and I'm sure many of you Jamsters who watched the game are feeling the same way I did. It's just like, what the fuck happened? It was like that Vikings Colts game today. You're like, all of a sudden you're like, what the hell happened? Like, I thought this one was done. We're down 24.
Yeah.
Devin Booker made a 3, then he made a couple shots, and then I was just like, oh my God, we're clawing back into this game. We're down 6 all of a sudden. Like, it was highly, highly impressive. And again, Devin Booker, the way that he plays basketball and the determination that he has. I mean, if he's on, he's on. So you got to be ready for that. So a shout out to him. It was nice to get a win against the Pelicans. It's nice to have some of the Pelicans feel some of that disdain in their subreddit.
Oh, it's great.
It's always good to hear.
I fucking love
always good to hear. And you want to talk about disdain? Next up for the Phoenix Suns, Monday at 7 p.m., we are playing the Los Angeles Lakers at home. Anthony Davis is up in the air. He's not playing tonight with he's got that foot soreness again. Let's go. Let's take on these Lakers. I'm ready for the Lakers, man.
Oh yeah. I can't say that enough. Oh yeah, I'm excited because the Lakers' last game I watched was, I think it was last night, Friday night game. They came back. They beat the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And Russell Westbrook looked really fucking awesome. And Anthony Davis was out early.
Man.
Yeah, Anthony Davis was out early in that game, but never came back. So we'll see if he's going to play. But he's been playing. He's my fantasy player. I have him, Zion, and Kevin Durant as my top 3 players.
Good Lord.
And so far, Anthony Davis is like the number 1 player. No, so far Anthony Davis is number 1 in fantasy. He's lighting it up. And if he's back, I kind of want to see that. I want to see some kind of competitive game, and hopefully Aiden comes back, right?
I think.
I mean,
Aiden will be
tonight was
back for this
competitive, but I
one.
want to see a healthy, like real, like Lakers team with Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Westbrook. I want to see what that's like against the Suns team with Aiden.
Yeah, I think Ayton will be back. You know, the challenge that the Lakers have, and granted, they're playing a lot better basketball. It's a team that started off, I think, 3-12, and last I checked, they were 15 and something or 13 and something. I don't remember, but they're a team that definitely is on the upswing, and that's because Anthony Davis has been playing out of his mind recently.
Yeah.
Now, granted, if he's not there, that's going to change some things, but at the same time, there's always that disdain for the Lakers. They're currently the 12th seed. They're 12-16. You'll want to put your foot on their throat. LeBron James takes the second most field goal attempts per game in the entire NBA still. And I think that it's just another opportunity for the Phoenix Suns to remind the Lakers that we don't like them very much. A loss to the Lakers hurts more than a loss to the Pelicans, because the Pelicans are a team like that's good, that is on the upswing. We talked about it last year. The whole time I was watching this game and playing the Pelicans, 3 times in 6 games or whatever it was, playing them that much, it reminded me of the playoffs last year, where you and I were sitting there, and after we downed that team and we excommunicated them from the playoffs, we're like, fuck, man, this team's going to be good next year. And guess what? They're good.
Yeah.
The Lakers suck.
They are, but honestly, it is early. And I think that the way the Suns handled the Pelicans, the way Booker handled it was it was a gift from God, because we needed a win. Because if we were going to lose this game tonight and then go and play the Lakers and maybe lose, I feel like we'll beat the Lakers for sure, even with Anthony Davis there. And if DA comes back and Anthony Davis is there, I think we win for sure. If it's the other way around, where Davis is out and then Ayton might be out, it might be a tougher game, just because the Lakers, they fucking hate the Suns, and Westbrook's been playing amazing. But I don't know. I just hate losing the Lakers because of all those fans that are there. It's just like, I love to send them home. Like,
there's nothing better than sending the home Laker fans frustrated. So we'll see. That game again's on Monday. We still got like 8 minutes. What do you want to talk about, man?
Fuck, I don't know, man. I'm just excited about this Booker win, man.
I am too. I'm pissed that I've had so many technical difficulties tonight.
But you pulled it together. The thing is, like, James, it's so hard. Like, when things are going fucked, like, everything goes blurry for me. I'm like, what the fuck? And I can't see anything. I'm like, what do I do? But John, dude, you were like back in it quick. We didn't even know. Hardly. It's just a few little things here or there.
Well, if you're listening, you probably really didn't know. You heard me robot voice for a little bit, but outside of that,
it's probably because you had the girls at your house tonight, right? Wasn't it a girls' party? My sisters were over there.
Yeah, they're over there at the bar. They want me to pick them up soon.
Yeah,
but they're partying. They're like trying to tell me shit about the dog sweater. I'm like, fucking Devin. I'm trying to like write and watch the game, and I'm just like, what?
Like, oh my gosh, why does he care about the game?
Laney's sweater.
Why does he care? Does he have money on the game?
Fucking Shannon said earlier, she's like, Laney's sweater's cute. I'm like, yeah. She's like, why are you being mean? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you didn't answer quick enough. I'm like, oh my god, dude! Like, you're standing in front of the game. Like,
sounds like drunk Shannon.
Yeah, exactly. Give me 2 seconds and boom.
Do we have childhood trauma? Everyone's asking for it.
Oh, dude, we got some time. Let's childhood trauma this up. Think of a topic.
Childhood trauma.
Yeah, everybody's childhood trauma, and this is great. I didn't even see the chat. Let's see here. Ted Lubin said, "What's the worst Christmas present you received?"
Oh, that's tough. I feel like my dad always did a really good job.
I feel like my parents did a good job at Christmas too. Like, I never got just like some whack present or anything.
I can tell my sister Stephanie, who's over tonight, I'll do her childhood trauma. So she was always into video games and comic books growing up, but every Christmas, my mom and dad would give her like jewelry stuff, like just is it an armoire where you put your jewelry or whatever, and you put it and you have the mirrors. I don't know what it is, but they would always buy. Okay, I think it's an armoire. And one Christmas she got one of those for her jewelry, but she never had jewelry.
Okay.
Never. So I don't know if
Okay.
this was a thing. It's like,
she got a
hey,
jewelry holder with no jewelry.
she never really had jewelry. She just would love to play video games. She's like, I want a N64 in these games, but they would give her the jewelry shit. So I'm like, dude, I felt sorry for her. But anyway, so she would get that, and then she actually had a dog, and I think you know the story. A little dog that was a Chihuahua would poop in her room, crazy, just poop everywhere. So then, like, if people would come over, she would hide the poop in her armoire.
Oh my god.
she would.
she found.
She was that lazy where she would hide it in her armoire, and then you would go in there and open it, and all there'd be like little turds in there, dude.
Oh my god.
So,
Gross.
yeah, that's a
Ew.
little childhood trauma for me, maybe. And she used to
Yeah.
actually try to sneak some nights I would be sleeping, and then she would like take the poop and like sneak it under the door, but I would hear it because we had wood floors. And then yeah, it was be all hard because it was all
I can't
old.
wait. I can't wait to pick her up from the bar. I'm gonna tell her that story. Like, hey, your armoire.
Yeah,
Your
we just
armoire,
lost like 20 viewers saying that. But yeah, that was it. It was always about the hard turds growing up, man.
Wow. Yeah. Like I can't think of a really bad Christmas. You know, like my parents, we weren't wealthy in any way, shape, or form growing up, but they always somehow pulled it together and put on good Christmases for us. I remember one year, all the toys my brother and I got were like Terminator 2 action figures. It was the fucking coolest thing, man. Like little John Connor and the dirt bike. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger and the big old motorcycle and the shotgun and like exoskeletons. Like that was super cool. I remember one year. So this is one, I don't think I've told this on the podcast, but I've definitely told this a bunch. So I was raised with, I have 3 little brothers and an older sister. So my older sister's 3 years younger than me. So when I was really young, for the first about 7 to 8 years of my life, a lot of the things that I liked were things that my sister liked because I was raised around my sister. And my sister liked My Little Ponies and New Kids on the Block and all that stuff, you know, late 80s, early 90s. So I remember one year for Christmas, I got I got 2 My Little Ponies. It was Dodger and or it was Slugger, and that was the baseball My Little Pony male. And then I got Quarterback, and he was the football. So my sister had all her My Little Ponies. I had like the male My Little Ponies. And then,
Oh no.
so I had Quarterback and Slugger.
Jeez.
You know, he came with like
Yeah.
a baseball bat. So lame. And I remember my sister and I got all excited because our parents or Santa got us the My Little Pony ice cream shop. Like you could open it up and that's your My Little Ponies could go there and get ice cream and shit.
Yeah. Dude,
And
that's
then-
fucking weird, dude.
And then one year I got a Walkman when Walkmans were first coming out, and I got a 1 cassette tape with my Walkman, and it was the single "Step by Step" by New Kids on the Block. I remember just like walking around with my headphones on, like step by step, ooh, ooh, baby,
I don't know
gonna
that
get
song.
to you, girl.
Is it the
And-
one step
then
by step, day by
No,
day?
day
Oh.
by day. No,
Day
that's the
by day.
that was the show Step by Step. And then my sister got the same thing, but she got Tonight. So, you know, NKOTB, New Kids on the Block.
Oh.
So,
Dude,
yeah.
yeah. Well, one Christmas, really quick, someone asked, did any of these presents traumatize you?
My Little Ponies traumatized me.
Yeah, I
'cause,
was
like,
gonna say, I think that
well,
was
because like
one.
you're in like 6th or 7th grade, so or 6 or 7 years old. So you go to 1st grade and you tell people what you got for Christmas, and they made fun of me for it. And I didn't know. I was just like, oh, this is what kids play with. Like you grow up around an older sister, you just play with the same shit she does, especially when you're poor. It's not like your parents are like, you know, like granted, like I played baseball and stuff. And but after the My Little Pony things was like really embarrassing because I'd go to school and people would be like, I'd be like, yeah, I got Quarterback and Slugger. And they're like, what?
Yeah. Well, I remember one time when I think I went Christmas shopping with my mom, and she's like, all right, we're gonna get Shannon and Stephanie something, my sisters. But we got them 2 CDs, but I wanted a CD too just to get for me and just, you know, put in my sock because I knew about no Santa. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Jansers. Spoiler alert.
Ugh.
There's no Santa. But
Shit.
I was like, could I get this one and the CD? All right, don't give me shit.
Oh, I will.
The CD that I really wanted that I didn't want them to have that I wanted was the TLC song or the TLC album.
What, Crazy Sexy Cool?
Yeah, I
Dude,
got that
album
one.
was dope.
Yeah, that one, and then
It's a
I gave
great
them like
album.
the Genuine one, and then like some Usher one. or
Genuine.
something.
And
Genuine.
what was the first CD you ever owned?
It had to be. It was an Aerosmith one. I think it was the 9 Lives.
Okay.
Aerosmith 9 Lives. I still love that album.
So I spent my whole day cleaning up my garage today. And I was going through and I was consolidating some old boxes and whatnot. And I came across the first CD I ever owned. Now, there's the first CD I owned and the first album I ever owned. The first CD I ever owned was the single, and I found it today. It's still in my garage. The single for Always Be My Baby by Mariah Carey off the Fantasy album.
Dude.
And the first album I ever owned was Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Well, how old were you? Do you remember? Like when Jagged Little, that was a great.
It was a great
man.
album.
Yeah.
I was 11, something like that. 11.
Oh, okay.
1995. No, I was like maybe 12.
Okay.
We were raised in a very different family. I mean, if you've listened to Childhood Trauma on this podcast before,
Oh yeah.
my dad raised pigeons, and
It's a little different.
I grew up in a very different environment. So we didn't get a CD player until like 1995, and then it was Always Be My Baby. Shoot-a-doo.
Dum.
Shoot-a-doo. Down.
Well, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar, Sex and Magic.
That
That
was
was
a great
always
album.
one. I didn't have that one. My sister did, but I always listened to it.
Yeah, my sister, she used to always listen to fucking Celine Dion.
Oh, boo, that's bad.
Yeah,
Celine
it's not
Dion
good.
always sucks, except
It's
for the
not good.
Titanic song. That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Nah, she was all right. But there you go. Childhood Trauma brought to you by our childhoods. Again, thank you, Jamster, for hanging out. We'll be going live after the Lakers game on Monday night. I'm on day one of like a 5 days off, so this is gonna be fun.
Oh, cool, man.
yeah,
So, but 5 days, and then what do you work Friday?
I work
Or-
Thursday and Friday next week.
Okay.
I'm off Saturday, then I work Christmas.
Oh, you have to work Christmas?
Yeah, but it's gonna be easy. It's like it'll
But
be
you-
like a half day.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't. When you get older, it's like, as long as
I
you have
don't
like
really-
Christmas Eve, really.
Yeah, Christmas Eve, like with the Lissy family, and then like my sister comes to town on Monday, so I'll be like spending the week with her. We're going to go see Christmas Vacation in the theater, and then the next night we're going to go see It's a Wonderful Life in the theater.
And cry. That's the one.
That's the one movie.
that John cries
The
to.
one movie that I cry my eyes out to is It's a Wonderful Life. My
Cool.
mom's already making fun of me. She's like, "Your nephews are going to see you cry." I was like, "God bless us."
You gotta go to the
Every time,
bathroom.
yeah, I'm like, I got to run to the bathroom. Every time an angel or a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. So, but anyways, on that note, Jamsters, we hope you had a good time hanging out with us. Suns win 18-12, big dub. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. If you're watching this podcast, please hit that thumbs up. Follow me at Darth Voida. Follow him
I'm Matthew Lissy.
and follow the show at Suns Jam on Instagram, Twitter, and the TikTok.
All right, everyone, go home and love your family.
Boop, you're Celine Dion CD.